What's up, everybody? It's Maisha Edmond, licensed cosmetologist in the state of New York, also a certified trichologist. I am your most favorite trichology business strategist. What's going on? A little bit of housekeeping. I am live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok for the second day. All right. So this is a 3-day trichology business / career reboot. If you are somebody that is a trichology professional, or you're somebody that's like, okay, I really want to, no, really, trichology professional, and you're like, you know what, I kind of been slacking. I kind of fell back into what I call doing like regular hair and really not nurturing your trichology practice, then this is the place for you to be. Yesterday was like more foundational. So we briefly talked about like all the things, right? All of the things. Hey. So today we are going to really be going over positioning and positioning. I don't think, oh yeah, and setup. Sorry, positioning and setup. So if you are a new and improving trichologist, or you're somebody that's like, you know what, I really need to get this together, you have to start looking at how you are setting up your clinic. Okay. I want you to look at how you're setting up your clinic as a trichologist. Or if you are still in a salon, like a more salon cosmetic space, I want you to start looking at how you are interacting with people on your trichology days. So practice setup starts way before you get all the gadgets and the tools and the products. Practice setup starts with your booking and with your okay, we talked about consultation, but like with your consultation, but with your booking and with how you set up your, I'm drawing a blank. Let's start with booking. So the first thing is booking. You have a physical space and you have your virtual space, right? Now, in 2020, when the world shut down, right? We collectively were kind of thinking like, okay, how am I going to service clients who need hair restoration, especially with COVID hair loss, stress, sickness, all those things, and I cannot see them. And that was the introduction of a virtual trichology space, right? So let me give you a little backstory. When I, in 2020, you know, we all sitting around, and I had, I bought a was it like a session, like a business session, like a strategy session from someone who was in the beauty industry, but not necessarily a trichologist. But because she was like extremely successful, I was like, let me go ahead. Hey, I said, let me go ahead and get this session. So I'm telling her what I do, and I'm telling her, you know, it's trichology and this and the other. And she says to me, you can't do trichology and not be able to see clients. And that sparked something in me. And I just knew like I didn't really waste the money, because it really sparked the idea in me that helped me to really cultivate what Trichology 911 University is, how I train other trichologists and all that other stuff. So it really didn't waste it, but it was frustrating. So that was the beginning of my virtual trichology space. And what I started to do was let everybody know that, listen, you have to have your trichology space that is virtual as well. You want to be able to help people, even if they can't sit in your face, they can't be in your clinic, right? So remember yesterday I was talking about like knowing what you know. You have got to know the things that you know. What does that look like, Maisha? I have to know the different symptoms. I have to know the different characteristics of certain hair loss issues, especially those that I say that I'm going to that I'm going to specialize in, right? So if your thing is telogen effluvium, then you have to know all aspects of telogen effluvium. So that way, when you hear somebody say, oh, well, I have shedding and I could kind of see through it, but it's not burning and it's not itching, but it was after a high fever, or it was after a baby, or it was after surgery, then I'm already going to begin to narrow things down, right? So, long story medium, let's go back to the story. I went to her and I was like, okay, well, we're on Zoom and I'm like, this is what I do. And I want to be able to help clients, give me some advice because, you are this millionaire and, you're this beauty guru. And she was like, you can't help people without actually touching them and seeing them. And I knew that she was wrong. I knew it because I knew trichology in that way so much that I was positive that I would be able to help the client. And that's what I want you to be able to do. So, like I said, when you're doing your setup starts way before people begin to come into your space, your consultation, right? So we spoke about consultation yesterday, but let's do this. I'm gonna do a rundown of my free 15-minute consultation. So if you are a new and improving trichologist, you definitely can use this this schematic, if you will, right? So I ask 5 questions, right? I only do 5. I don't do a whole bunch, especially with the free 15-minute, because what I want to do is be able to ask a question that would lead me to get an answer, right? So, because you're always setting yourself up to win. So, I ask, the regular, how old are you? Now, to the average person, it's like, okay, how old are you? Yeah, like that matters, because if they are 73 and, they are on medications and, they got, all kind of ailments going on, that's going to be another factor, right? If they are 10 years old, right? I don't see children for treatments, right? But if they are 10 years old, then I have to, treat that a different way. If there's somebody that's at the age where they are premenopausal, right? Then I have to consider certain things that way. So I always ask, okay, well, how old are you? So that's one of the questions you want to ask. I want to also ask, how long have you had hair loss or the scalp issue, right? Because I want to know how long it's been, if it's something that is more chronic, did it just happen, right? The next thing I'm asking is, and this is a good one, if there's anything you'd like to tell me about your hair loss, what would it be? Why? Because your clients are going to want to talk about themselves, right? And this is a really good way for you to kind of just like listen and hear what they're saying about their hair loss, what they're saying about their issues. So that being said, you're going to say, like when you look at it, you're going to say, all right, so like, for example, I had one client who was like, I've tried everything. I've tried everything and nothing works. And I'm like, okay, obviously she didn't try everything, but everything within her scope or her range, she tried. So what things did you try? Right? So she's like, I tried biotin, I tried miracle drops, I tried supplements, all those different things. And I'm like, okay. So now I know that she's really like, she's gonna buy products. She believes in the products, but maybe like these things that she's reaching for are not going to be the things that's going to help her. So you have all of that, right? So I'm asking the age, I'm asking how long, I'm asking if there's anything that you would like me to know about your hair loss, like what would it be? And then I'm also figuring out, have you ever been to a hair loss professional before? And if they say yes, now this is really important, because if they say yes, I want to know how many. Why? Because sometimes you get a client that has had hair loss for maybe a year and they've been to 10 different people, which means that 9 out of 10, they don't listen. They don't give the solution a chance to work. Whatever that solution or remedy may be, they don't give it a chance to work. And so you can't really get really far with somebody that doesn't listen and doesn't give it time to work. So that's like a really big thing. Okay. So your virtual office is going to be big. It's not just your consultation. It's how you onboard your new clients that may come in virtually, right? So the same way you would have somebody come into your office or your clinic or your salon, and they're talking to you about their hair loss, and you're doing all the things, is the same way you want to give that experience. You want to give that experience virtually. So what does your virtual office look like? Is it easy for someone to click a button, go to this form, fill it out, and have an appointment? Is it easy for them to connect with you in your virtual space? Do they get the same treatment? Do they feel like they have been to your office, although they're sitting in the comfort of their home or their office or in their car, wherever, right? That is really big. Why? Because you have to look at the fact that trichology is not just something that you just pulling out of a hat, right? You really have the opportunity to help clients, right? To help people, to give people answers, right? And so because of that, then you also have a specific price point that you're trying to reach, which we'll talk about tomorrow, right? So if you're trying to reach this price point, you can't have all kind of stuff all in your background, like stuff just going on. You can't have it where, people are talking and walking around. You have to give like a really professional experience, because I feel like, y'all heard of quacks, right? So it's like when people, they just like real weird about their stuff, and it's like it doesn't work. It's just like, very superstitious, very just, it's not solid, right? There are a lot of trichologists that are like that, right? Because it's like you learn one thing and you latch onto it and you think that that's the only thing. And that's really, it poses a problem. So when you are doing trichology properly and practically, you literally cannot afford to just kind of leave things up to chance, right? How you do things, protocols, procedures, all those things make a huge difference. And so the same things that you will offer to a client sitting in your office are going to be the same things that you're going to offer a client sitting in your virtual office. So when I say your practice setup, let's go to what's going to start your consultation. Are you going to offer a virtual consultation, or you're going to offer a phone consultation? Is there going to be a free introductory discovery call, or do you feel like you're going to give so much information that it should be paid? Is that going to come off of the whole total price of a full consultation? You have a lot of things to think about, right? So then once you get all of that out the way, then you have to look at what is going to be like. Do you have your consultation forms, right? I created trichology treatment plan forms, right? Where when you're doing the consultation, once you're done, you literally, it's basically written out for you based on the questions that you asked. What are the characteristics? What is the severity? All those different things. So you have all of that, right? Once you have all of that, then you're able to really just kind of work with the client based on the variables, based on what they have going on, their lifestyle, and also the treatment plan that they chose, right? Because when you look at the treatment plan that they chose, now I do it like this. I do a DIY. I do a DIY with support, and then I do a full treatment plan, right? So what that looks like is, if it's something that's like not really serious as far as like severity, but they do need the help, or they don't have the right products, and you have everything and you're able to kind of break it down as something simple that the client could use on their own, then you're going to go ahead and do a DIY for them, right? Then you have the client that may need a DIY with support. That's somebody that's doing the stuff themselves, but they're coming into you once a month. So how I do it is, my treatment plans are 12 weeks. So that's 3 months, right? So once a month for 3 months, the client is coming in, and I'm checking up on their progress, whatever they're doing, I'm checking that, and I'm just trying to see what is like, how is it going, right? If there's something I need to change, if I need to give them more supplements or switch them because they could plateau while they're on their supplements, I want to make sure I'm doing that, right? Then the next thing is the full. Now, full is like, it's very serious, or is somebody that's like, listen, I'm not a hair person. I don't know what I'm doing. I want you to do it. I don't want to hold no shampoo. I don't want to, I just give me my supplements. I'll do the best I can do with that. And then I'm going to come into you, right? Now, in all of those, especially with the DIY, not the DIY, the full, you could adjust your pricing based on the fact that you're going to be offering styling services too, if you're still going to be offering styling. Okay. So, that's that whole thing. Once you have your consultation, if it's going to be virtual, it's going to be this, you have your treatment plans, you have all those things, right? Now you go into the setup. What do you need for a client that's coming in for a consultation in person, right? Like I said yesterday, you'll probably want a scope. Do you need a scope? No. Why do I say that? Now, this is something I do in the powwow. This is something that's paid, but I'm going to tell you, you don't need a scope, because what you're looking at is, you could show them and it's almost like shock value, but at the end of the day, you're not going to know outside of you just looking and saying, okay, I see this is what's going on. It's nothing that is going to change until you look at them again, like say DIY with support. If I look at them after their first appointment, when they come back, then I can see, okay, this changed, this is working. So I would use the scope in the beginning to take pictures, front, back, side, top, that whole thing, just so I can have the pictures, right? Do it also with your phone, all those things. But I'm literally setting those up as like just to hold a space so that I can have something to measure it by when they come back, right? So that I can follow the progress. So a scope, yes, it doesn't have to be a whole bunch of money. Just get a scope, right? Then what I'm looking at is, like I said yesterday, magnifying glass or goggles. Now, why do I say that? Because I love to do part tests. If you do a part test, you want to be able to kind of like really see. You want to be able to look at the scalp magnified, maybe not under the scope, but just something nice and clear and bright. So that you want to do that. And then let me see. So a scope, a magnifying glass or goggles. I'll tell you what I got in my clinic. I have a blood pressure cuff. I have an oximeter. And I also have Zyto machine, right? And so what I do with the Zyto machine is I'm looking at their toxic stress and all those things. So that's really good. And then what I do with that is I have learned to like set up the analytics in my Zyto so that I can see certain things. And so I'll do that, right? You don't need a whole bunch of space. If you are somebody that's kind of getting yourself still together with trichology and you're just kind of like, all right, I don't have a lot of space. I'm not going to get no office. Pick a day that is very slow. Only book your clients for that day. If you don't have slow days, amen. So then what you want to do is you want to pick a day in your schedule that is only for trichology. Have your trichology day where you do your consultation. And like when you're first starting, you can do consultation at the top of the day, and then you can do treatments at the bottom of the day. And then eventually you'll have like consultation days and like treatment days, right? Now, let me tell you, the people that I connected with love trichology days, love them. And I'll tell you why in a powwow, right? But You want to make sure that you have your separate days so that, number one, the clients are not uncomfortable. You don't really want to put like a whole bunch of people around your hair loss clients, because you want them to feel comfortable. You want them to feel safe and seen, but not seen by all, right? So that's going to be really, really good. So as far as setup, that's what you have. Now let's talk about, did I finish that up? Let me see. Okay, you have consultation, your virtual office, you have your forms. If you have any other forms, like if you have a blood panel, blood works panel that you want to send them with, you want to do that. You have your, let's pretend like you got my treatment plan templates. You want to have those because you want to be able to give them a copy of the treatment plan, and then you have one. Another thing that I love to do is, although I have like the treatment plan, I don't say you're going to get 7 of these and 6 of these and 5 of these. Why? Because if something is working, then I stay there until I don't see the efficacy, and then I switch to something else. So that's going to be something really big. Okay. So that's like setup. Your setup is also, how do you look on social media, right? If you got food, for example, food on your Instagram page or on your TikTok page, right? Then, and you really want to get into like, okay, I'm redoing this and I'm doing trichology now, and I'm just relaunching, I'm rebooting and all that other stuff, then you either going to take them down, or you're going to go back and you're going to adjust your caption. So it's like, say it's a salad, then why don't you go through that whole picture and look at everything that's on that salad and say, this salad helps the hair grow because it has this in it. There is kale in it. Kale is high in zinc. Zinc is good for is a good DHT blocker. So if you have androgenetic alopecia, this is going to help you for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the vitamins, these are the enzymes, blah blah blah. So that's going to be a really good thing for you. Okay. All right. So then the next thing is this. After we do our setup, right, we want to look at our positioning. Trichology, the trichology streets are kind of crowded, but they also messy, and they don't have to be. So what do? You want to make sure that you are positioning yourself in a way that sets you apart. Now, how do you do that? Yes, a mentor, absolutely a mentor. Like, mentors are going to save you time and heartache, right? But also you have to look at, you won't have to go through those same little things. Yes, you can get stuff for free, but I'm telling you, everything I paid for, like, has helped me faster than me hanging around hoping that somebody say something for free. That's number one, right? But let's go more with positioning as far as your language, right? Deciding, it's really not even, you want to connect with the right people, but you don't have to be in a pack, right? So you're looking at, okay, how do you want to position yourself? Okay. Some of the things that I use for positioning is, if you're on Facebook, going in groups that are like in your area and just kind of, presenting yourself, as you establish yourself as the expert. Just don't ask for the sale, but like literally just kind of be like, like, I'm here. Hey, my name is Maisha Edmond. I'm a trichologist. If anybody has any questions about hair loss, I'm definitely here to help and answer questions. And so then you get that stuff, get that going. You just kind of like chime in. So if there's like a hair group that's like in your area that services your area, then you definitely want to be in there. Also positioning, like, go to places that like other stylists are not going to. Right. So like, if it was like there was a thing at a country club by me, and it's like, listen, buy the ticket and go to dinner, or get a table and just kind of like have like information about hair loss. Right? You don't want to be like in the mix, because the type of trichology that you present would probably be good for this specific thing. So like I said yesterday, if you are somebody that wants to help people after they've had FUE or the transplant, then you want to be in certain places. You want to be like in the I know a girl, who's in a building full of doctors, but the floor that she's on is plastic surgeons. Like, it's ingenious, right? Because if you're going to pay for plastic surgery and you're trying to get all this done, then you probably want your hair to look a certain way too. And after surgery, people, especially with anesthesia, they tend to shed hair and all that other stuff. So, it's just a full out experience, right? So positioning is also how often you're posting, what you're talking about, and really filtering what you are presenting to people. It's just a big thing for you. Let me see what we got here. Hey, what's this? Okay. So that being said, you really want to look at how you are positioning yourself, what you're talking about, how you show up. Go and clean up your social media. You're rebooting. So it's nothing for you to relaunch. It's really nothing. You already know what you know. You just got to use it the proper way. And that's going to be really, really big for you. Showing up and being consistent is a huge thing. Are you consistent? Do you really want this? It's so funny because my daughter runs track, and we often look at we'll go to the meets and we'll be looking, and then I'll see somebody run. I'm like, she don't want it. She don't want it. She don't want it. You gotta want it. And it's the same thing. You have to want it. So how are you positioning? Remember this: as big as you want your trichology practice to be, that's how big it's going to be. As small as you believe it's going to be, that's how small it's going to be. What are you going to do? What do you want to offer? What kind of trichology do you want to offer? What type of trichologist will you be? Are you looking to be trendy? Are you looking to be a mainstay? I love the niche that I've carved out for myself, because I have people that are not my hairstyling clients, and I have just a little VIP, group. But I have people that before they go to their stylist, or they have several styles. They got a braid girl, They got they weave girl, they got they regular hair girl, but I'm their hair doctor. So they come to me and say, hey, I was thinking about this, or I need to get a really good treatment. I need a scalp exfoliation. I need this and that before I go to ABC. Especially if you're in those places, you can really position yourself as a real force when you look at if you're in an area where people just kind of go to places where you got to go for your hair to be washed already, right? Or they don't really do so much of the hair care. So you could literally offer plans where a person could come in once a month on a plan where it's like a subscription base, and they're able to come in and get exfoliated, get a steam treatment or micro mist treatment. They can get CIT, photo dynamic therapy, different things like that, so that it keeps their hair strong, and you can just kind of see things. So it's I've really been going through a lot. I've been going to the beach. I've been in the sun. I've been working outside, blah, blah, blah. You literally just kind of nurse their hair back to health. Okay. So positioning, you got to think about your positioning, and you want to think about your setup. What do you want your setup to be? Do you want it luxurious? Do you want it more basic, where people could just kind of freely come into you? Do you want it to be more okay, let me set this up where people they know they need a consultation. It's a little more on the pricey side, however, it's worth it. You see what I'm saying? So something bothered me so bad. I was speaking to a stylist, and they were talking about trichology, and I really want to do this and the whole thing. And then I look on their page, and they're offering something for $25. And I'm like, you do understand that what you're offering, the hours that you have invested, and the time that you invested, the information that you have gained, $25 for a trichologist is crazy. And I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna get off here. When I first started, I got my first client, and I charged her $1,100, and I'm telling you, I thought I was rich. Number one, I was, and not only was it $1,100, but it was $1,100 for 16 weeks. So this lady literally got all my trichology knowledge, everything I knew, for like, excuse me, like $57.75 a week as a trichologist. I'm ashamed, but it's okay. I don't do that no more. Not only that, I didn't believe that I could really do it. So I started throwing stuff in, giving discounts, piling stuff up, just so she could come and maybe she would tell somebody. Well, she never told anybody. She brought her boyfriend and her brother one time. I was in a small suite. They ate all my chips. and then I was like throwing in hairstyling and coloring and stuff for free because I'm like, well, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know how this is going to, like, if she's going to tell people. I'll tell you two things. Number one is you can't be the best and be the cheapest. You got to pick one. You're either going to be the best or you're going to be the cheapest, because being the best is going to require that you spend money and time. And so you cannot be the best and you cannot be the cheapest together. I think that was two things. And so that's like really huge. The other thing is this, like, as a trichologist, you don't have to grow hair back. That's not that's what people see, that you're growing hair back, but that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility as a trichologist at its core is to improve the client's quality of life, improve the client's quality of life as it relates to their hair. It's going to affect everything else. Why? Because the hair is the barometer for the body. So, but it's also a non-essential tissue, right? So if your toe needs the blood, the blood going to go to the toe, not to the hair, right? But it's the barometer for the body. You can tell, like, when a person is dehydrated. You can tell, please, even when you have to, you get tested, they can take your hair and test your hair, right? So you don't have that weight on you that I gotta grow hair back. That's why I'm not doing trichology, because I don't know if this stuff is gonna work. If you study, if you get you a mentor, get you a coach, really break down the stuff that you're offering, really look at what you're offering and why you're offering it, and understand how it works. It's gonna work for you. It's gonna work for your clientele. Don't take on people that you can't help. Why are you getting people that have inflammatory issues and that's not the thing that you do, right? Like I've always said, trichology is easy. Don't ever stop saying trichology is easy. I don't care how hard it is for you right now. Trichology is easy. Only help the people that you know you can help. That's why positioning and your marketing is super important. Because if you're saying everybody that got hair loss come to me, and then somebody comes to you and you don't know what to do with that, and you don't have the wherewithal to kind of like study and try to figure it out, it's not going to work for you. So you literally have to know, what type of trichologist do I want to be? What are the things that I'm looking at? What am I willing to do? What kind of products do I want? Oh, another thing, which is big, don't lean on products. I know stuff is popular and all that other stuff, but don't lean on products. Look at the ingredient. Ingredient trumps products any day, because you can find something that may be cheaper and has the right ingredients and it's going to work for your client. So you have to know what you need. That goes with supplements too. People, they using prenatal vitamins and all this kind of hair growth and that kind of hair growth supplements, and it doesn't even have the percentage of what is needed for the client in it, right? I got all kind of stuff here. Let me see. Like, for example, you have a client that that has a supplement and they have let's say like vitamin B12, right? They say, oh yeah, vitamin B12. Well, let me share this with you. Vitamin B12, the normal range in the blood is going to be 250 to 1100 nanograms, right? So how much vitamin B12 do you need for hair sufficiency for a client? Right? And I teach this in the blood works class. You're going to need 500 to 900 nanograms to get that, right? So it's like, okay, no, that's for hair sufficiency. I'm sorry. So how are you going to treat that? Well, our trichological supplementation, we're able to recommend, because we don't diagnose, we are able to recommend 200 mcgs a day, right? And that's on the low scale for your client, right? But a medical prescription, if you're working in tandem with a doctor, they're able to prescribe 1,000 to 2,000 mcgs a day, right? And they also can get that intramuscularly. But if we were saying like supplementation, 200 mcgs a day, why does that make sense? Because if you're out here telling a client, okay, you need B12, and they go and they say, girl, I'm gonna go to Walmart and give me some B12, and it got 50 mcgs, and they don't even know that, okay, now they got to take 4, right? So that's not gonna help. All right. So anyway, positioning and your practice setup. I just want you to think about who you want to be as a trichologist. What are you offering? What do you want your virtual space to look like? Your virtual space is as important as your physical space. What are you offering? What does that onboarding look like? And also, what does that offboarding look like? What does it look like for a client to finish your process and go on? Do you have a maintenance program at the end? Are they able to then come in and get the stuff that they need based on the information that you kept in their file? Do you have a file? Do you are you keeping track of what you did in the treatment plan and what worked? Are you looking at toxic stress? Are you going to look at giving them an offboarding or offboarding like consultation, so that when they leave, you can see, okay, your toxic stress was this, but now you're this. And that's huge too. All right. So that's it. Thank you for joining me one more day. So I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be probably gonna do it early. But I'll let you know the time for sure. Because I have hair loss clients tomorrow. But let's link up. If you need any information about anything that I said, just reach out to me. All right. Have a great day today and happy hair growing.